I'm going to go out right here on this show and say, I think 99% of what he said was a crock of shit.
In an interview that ESPN's John Gibney had with Rich Paul, he did share some interesting information. I don't know if we love it or if we hate it, but let's talk about it. First and foremost, what he said. LeBron is off the idea of having to play with Bronny. If he does, he does. If he doesn't, he doesn't. There's no deal made that's guaranteed that if the Lakers draft Bronny at 55, that LeBron will re-sign. If that was the case, I would force them to take him at 17. We don't need leverage. The Lakers can draft Bronny and LeBron doesn't re-sign. LeBron is also not going to Phoenix for a minimum deal. We can squash that now. What were your guys' initial reactions when you read that quote?
Smoke screens. Hey, listen, okay, if you don't want to come here for the vet minimum, there's not a scenario that is out there where the Suns can trade for LeBron. So he's completely out of the picture. So it basically leaves it to LA or everybody else. That's just what it is. And I know LeBron doesn't want to go anywhere else. It's West Coast or nothing. Yeah. So I don't really buy it.
Listen, this is classic agent speak. This is a week before the draft. This is exactly what Saul says, smoke screens. I'm going to go out right here on this show and say, I think 99% of what he said was a crock of shit. I think it's just part of the business, right? Just think about it. Read the whole article if you haven't. Don't just go for the clickbait headlines. Read the whole thing. And Lindsay did a good job of breaking down some of that. He said, Lakers could take him at 17. Doesn't mean we're going back. We don't need leverage. We don't need the Suns to be leveraged. So, I mean, if they wanted to take him, they could take him, and we can do all this business behind closed doors, and it wouldn't be anything to talk about. He talked about Masai loving him, but not having to meet him and taking him at 31. He talked about Nico loving him and not needing to take him, he could wait till 58 with the Mavericks. He talked about the Timberwolves. And so I'm sitting here and I'm saying, why even say all this? Like, what are you doing? Why are you saying all this? You know what my translation was? Phoenix, don't fuck around. Take him at 22. I'm just letting y'all know. Don't play funny. Don't play funny. You want him, take him at 22. Because if you don't, 31 is lined up. 58 is lined up. That's what I got from this. And again, if he wanted to throw a complete bomb out there, like Saul said, the Suns are limited to a minimum contract. So he could have easily just switched up a couple words and just said, LeBron's just not going to Phoenix. There's no path. There's no way. And it's over with. But the way he phrased it and the way he said it, again, just sounds like a lot of agent talk. And I followed up. I made some phone calls. I damn sure did. As soon as I saw it, I made some phone calls. And let me just say, I don't think anything has changed from what I was thinking about yesterday after this little interview.
Okay. So Noah in the chat said, I'm not going to take Rich Paul for face value right now. Eli said, I call cap. I feel like it's one of those things where everybody wants to know what's going on. There's a lot of hype around Bronny and LeBron James this offseason because everybody will tell you for the offseason to really kind of fall into place, you're kind of waiting for the LeBron James news to hit. A lot of teams are. If you're a team who thinks you even have the slightest bit of a chance to land LeBron James and you're trying to wait for that, you're not going to fill out the rest of your roster. You're not going to be making moves until you know for sure that that's dead and gone. Because then you don't want to shoot your own self in the foot, right? And then as far as Rich Paul and the Bronny side of things goes, he wants to make sure that his guy is getting the best deal possible, that the team that he's going to. I believe that part of the article, that he truly has Bronny's best interest in mind. I do believe that part of the article. As far as LeBron not really caring about playing with Bronny anymore, I don't buy that for a minute. No chance. No chance.
Not even a little bit, because there's two other scenarios that nobody's talking about that also exist. One, Bronny at 22 is just such a reach. It is. So you only do that if you know LeBron James is probably going to sign with you. Like, that's just what it is. Okay. No team in their right mind should draft Bronny James that high. Not yet. Not yet. If he stayed in school maybe another year, developed his game a little bit better, maybe he could find himself in the first round. But it's just there's just too much unknown in terms of his growth and ability right now to solidify a top 25 pick. Second, LeBron James has one play with the Lakers in terms of an extension. Outside of that, he's going to have to take less money to go anywhere else. Okay. Yeah. LA is the only one that can offer him, I think it's like 3 years for $158 million or something like that. If he wants to opt out and then do an extension plus have the no trade clause put in as well. So right now, if you're LeBron, you got to decide, is $50+ million or $150+ million worth it? Or what am I playing for? The last years of my career are not for the money because I'm a billionaire. What the hell do I need to do with all that stuff? I've already solidified myself in the financial game. It should be about legacy. And if LeBron James is going to be that dude, there's only one way to do it. And you got to catch Kobe and you got to catch Michael. It's one of those two. And you got to find the best spot to be able to do that. And I don't think LA is going to be that spot. It just isn't. Why not go to the Suns and give yourself a better chance at a title than stay with the Lakers with Anthony Davis and a bunch of other yahoos? I don't know, man. I just don't believe it. I just don't.
No, Noah Suns. Eric, can you go to Noah Suns? He put something up there. He said, Rich Paul, Bronny. It's somewhere up in the chat. But there you go. There you go. That's narrative number one. We don't want to paint this picture that people are drafting Bronny because of LeBron. So let's get that out there right now. You don't think it's a coincidence that Paul George just put something out today and said, Bronny, I think, is the next Drew Holiday. Okay. So this is what we do. Guys, understand, I've been doing this way too long. And I'm telling y'all, this is classic smokescreen. We're going to put out what we want to put out. We're going to reach out to the homies. We're going to put some narratives out there. This just is what it is. To Saul's point, though, I could not agree more. First, another thing I want to remind people, I got to say this. Rich Paul works for LeBron James, not the other way around. Okay? So Rich Paul can say whatever he wants to say. But if LeBron 3 weeks from now says, you know what? I kind of like that team out in Phoenix. And hey, they did draft Bronny. And hey, you know what? I didn't feel this way on June 19th. But July 1, kind of slept on it, kind of feel like things have changed. He has all the right in the world to do that. So we got to put things in perspective. Rich is doing what he's doing for his client. LeBron will make his decision based on what LeBron wants to do. And I don't think anyone's going to be speaking for Bron. So I don't think this is anywhere near as definitive as people might make it out after reading the headlines. The Suns, I just don't see it.
And on top of that, right now is a good time to remind people, because some people are feeling really good. They don't want LeBron on this Sun squad. I get it. And some people are a little bit sad that it seems like any chance of getting LeBron is out the window. For the people who are asking if LeBron does opt in, can we just trade for him? The answer is no, because LeBron will be making too much money for any player to match any player on the Suns squad. So we can't just straight up trade for him. And anybody who's like, well, what if we tossed in Nasir Little to match the salary? We can't do that either because we're a second tax apron team. So we cannot send out multiple players in a trade. And we also, because we're in the second apron, cannot do a sign and trade. So if LeBron were to opt out and then sign at a little bit of a lower rate to make a trade happen, we can't participate in that either. So basically, the only option of getting LeBron in Phoenix is if the Suns were to draft Bronny and he accepted the vet min. That's it. That's the only path. So
pretty simple. There is another path that I don't think people are talking about, but I don't think it's a realistic path. And that path is LeBron makes it clear he doesn't want to be with the Lakers. The Lakers understand that. They don't want to lose him for nothing. So LeBron signs a deal with the Lakers a little bit lower than what he probably deserves, waits out until he is trade eligible, and kind of do what KD did with Brooklyn last year and said, I'm going back to Brooklyn, guys. I'm committed to Brooklyn. I love Brooklyn. We're going to make this right. And then you saw what happened. So could that be a path that down the road could come to fruition? I don't know, but that is a path. He could sign a lower deal, maybe not for the max, and make the money sit down. So technically LeBron won't be coming to Phoenix for the minimum, but it won't be this summer either. So
Yeah.
you can
I
look at that too. But
I don't
I'm
know.
just I'm
No, I
not
got
saying they're
you.
going to do that. I'm
No, I
just
got you.
saying
I
that
got you.
is a path that
But
a lot of people aren't talking about.
yeah, but if you're the Lakers, like at a certain point, you got to stop being held hostage by
Yeah.
LeBron.
Yeah.
Like you just I don't know, man. If I was Rob Pelinka right now, I'd be like, bro, either you stay and you opt in, or I got to move on to a different
GTFO.
world, man. Like you're LeBron, and I get it, man. But we also have not come close to winning a championship. We got swept in the Western Conference Finals. That doesn't feel like that. Basically, you got to the second round, is what that really appealed to. And then this year, you got bounced in the first round in 5 games. Like, what are we doing here? We're not improving as a franchise. We're getting worse. So, do we need to move on and start a whole new movement? I think if you're the Lakers, you really got to look at that.
And the Lakers are a family-owned business, man. People need to remember that. They're a family-owned business, doesn't have all this money coming from all different places. They've had some financial issues. They had during COVID, they had to apply for some. Do y'all remember that during COVID, the Lakers actually applied for government funding. So I say all that to say what you're saying. So they're getting tired of being held hostage, and they're getting tired of playing this game of chicken with LeBron. And I think both sides are kind of at a part where it may be time for a change. So, yeah, we'll see where the cookie crumbles, man. But I don't think anything that happened today really changes much.